back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. You know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Vince St. Preux wants to know if Jon Jones was on steroids or performance-enhancing drugs whenever they fought. And this is interesting, man. Regardless of what you believe, this is a valid question. Because I went into this thinking, man, Jon Jones wasn't on steroids when he fought OSP because he was tested by USADA and he didn't pop clean. But Jon Jones didn't pop dirty for his performance-enhancing drugs. He almost got away with it this time if it weren't for those meddling kids at USADA. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a valid question, but I will say one thing. If there's any fight that Jon Jones you can say was clean for, it would be this fight, the Vince St. Preux fight. Because that was his only fight post-USADA that he didn't pop dirty. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but before USADA there was no USADA, so who knows what everybody was on. After USADA, Jon Jones fought Vince St. Preux, didn't pop dirty, but at UFC 200 before he fought Daniel Cormier, he did pop dirty. And then after UFC 200, when he finally comes back from suspension, UFC 214, he pops dirty again. And so now there's only been one fight post-USADA that Jon Jones, arguably wasn't dirty, and that is the OSP fight. So, do I think Jon Jones was on steroids when he fought Vince St. Preux? No. Am I mad at OSP for asking the question? No, because, man, even the guy that has that technical win over Jon Jones, what was his name, Matt Hamill, he even came out and said, I'm glad, he said some shit like, I'm glad I got the win over a cheater or something. So, like, everybody before USADA can come out and say, oh man, I would have beat Jon Jones if he wasn't on steroids. Or Jon Jones, I had a feeling. Chael Sonnen came out. Chael Sonnen's fucking hilarious. He said I was on more juice than Tropicana, and Jon Jones still pushed me around like a Mack truck. So I knew something was up. And that was before USADA. So I mean, there's already this is interesting, man. So, Vince St. Preux, though, there's not really too much. It doesn't really matter if he was dirty for the Vince St. Preux fight, because it's not like Vince St. Preux went on to beat everybody else. It's not like Vince St. Preux is the one that's undefeated to everybody not named Jon Jones. Vince St. Preux went on to lose to Volkan Ozdemir, and I mean, I don't even know who he fought most recently. What was it, Shogun? I don't even remember. Or no, that's who he's scheduled to fight next, which will be a good fight, which is going to be overseas in like Asia, China, or somewhere. I forget exactly where. But yeah, it's going to be a good fight, man. But Vince St. Preux, he did say something which is interesting. He last year after Jon Jones popped dirty, he had a direct statement to Jon Jones. I'm going to read that before we get out of here. He said, maybe it would bring me... Oh, that was what he said most recently. Okay, let's read this one first. On June 18th, Jon Jones was caught taking post-psychotherapy drugs. This means he was on some form of performance-enhancing drugs before this date. The only real questions are, when did he start taking them? Was he before his fight with me or after? There are not many people who can answer this question, but Jon Jones is one of them, so I'm asking, when did you start taking PEDs, Jon? I wanted to fight the best fighter in the world, but I did not sign up to fight a cheater. So be a stand-up person and tell us all the truth. We all know you were on PEDs because you got caught taking PCT drugs. Just tell the world the truth. And most recently on Submission Radio, that was to MMA Junkie. But most recently to Submission Radio, Vince St. Preux said maybe it would bring me closure, maybe not. But at the end of the day, it's like, can I dwell on it? Yeah. But if I was dwelling on it, I'm holding on to the past, and there's no reason for me to do that. So my mindset is always going to be like, I'm here in the present, concentrate on the present, because whatever's going to put me in the present, however I perceive myself right now, then the future's going to be that much better. So with that being said, he's not going to dwell on it, even though he does have questions like, man, could I have beat Jon Jones if he wasn't cheating? But everybody has that question now, you know what I'm saying? So, and of all fights, that was a USADA Jon Jones tested fight. I mean, he didn't get caught for the steroids, so either he was on some good shit or I mean, he was clean for that fight. Which, man, I would not be surprised if somehow they tested an old sample for his OSP fight and that motherfucker popped dirty for some unknown brand new steroid. But with that being said, man, it is what it is. Let the hitters know what the fuck you talking about in the comments. dude. What do you call a sleeping bull? A bulldozer.